This is Lance and Roar, the voice of the fans, and this is the League of Ireland review, match day 25. Of course, a little bit of Europe sprinkled in. David Dunn here, joined by Conor McAvoy, as always. And before we get started, please head over to the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and lansdowneroad.ie. TikTok as well. Thank you, Conor. And lansdowneroad.ie, that is lansdowneroad.ie. And if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe to this channel and video, respectively. I think I said that right. Nothing like starting on your game, is there, Conor? Top of your game. How are you on this glorious July day?
I'm glorious, if you want to put it in all your big fancy Shakespearean terms. But no, I'm great. I'm good. It's a good week to be involved in Irish football, isn't it? Everything seems to be going on the up at the moment, whether it's with the lads playing, well, maybe not Shels, but everyone else playing in Europe, the League of Ireland, the drama keeps coming. We're getting the return of Irish lads abroad, which are actually starting to make us a bit excited for a season, probably for the first time in a good while. We're having a bit of excitement. So yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm not bad. Busy week. A lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Big, good stuff coming down the line for Lance and Roar. So yeah, just busy.
Yeah, announcement tonight, actually, Dave. Just gonna be so. If you're watching this before later on this evening, you'll make sure you have your eyes set on the channel.
Yeah, big announcement coming tonight. Big announcement. And a great something. I'm gonna sound like Trump here. It's great, really big announcement. The best announcement ever. Biggest announcement ever. But
Make Lansdowne Road great again.
Oh God, just lost about 500 followers. What do you mean again? Lansdowne Road is always great. Ow. Great tour, make a great tour.
Since you took your hiatus from the live streams, we'll have to say that'll be our little way of people like to think of reset.
No, you are correct. Yeah, since we do need to make it great again, and that will be next Monday when I'm back on the lives. I hope anyway. I'm in Ireland for a few weeks, so
if anyone wants a meet and greet, with Dave, just turn up to Clondalkin and turn up to his house, and he'd lovely have a meet and greet with you.
Yeah, with a big cricket bat. Fuck off. Anyway, right, let's get into it. We're going to start with Europe first. Conor says it's been a great week for Irish football. I'm going to have to disagree with that one, but we'll get it.
I said bar Shels. I said bar Shels.
No, I'm not even talking about Shels, more off the pitch stuff. But anyway, probably one place to start. Speaking of Shels, lost 3-0 at home to Karabag in their Champions League qualifier. A bit of an implosion from Shels, really. Yeah, we were kind of talking about this one offline with the other lads as well. I think this was a clear... I mean, Shels should have had a couple of goals, hit the woodwork twice, but when they're 1-0 down, half-time, came back out second half, thought they were really good, really well, but then they just sort of fell apart, didn't they? But I think with Karabag, whatever about Linfield in the previous round, and all due respect to Linfield, but I think we could agree Karabag is now it's a proper team, isn't it?
Yeah, it was just very disappointing, to be honest with you, Dave. There's positive and negative because you can say that maybe Shels went into that game. They started first 10 minutes, they were okay. Both teams had chances to hit the post, and then they conceded the goal. I think they showed them too much respect in what they were doing. At times, they didn't really get stuck in. It kind of took half time for Mark Coyle to come on the pitch and really show that if you don't show them any respect, then that's how you compete with lads at this level. Maybe it's because they've never played Karabag before in European competition, and they're used to thinking, Karabag, they're always they've qualified for Champions League, qualified for Europa League, they must be a proper side, we have to give them a bit of respect. But that was probably the worst way to go about it. Even if a manager doesn't set up that way, sometimes it's just the players' psyches to be like that. And then once it got to half time, I think they realised, because it was the last 10 minutes of the first half, Shels started to really pass the ball about, looked a really good side, and then the second half came on, I think JJ Lunny just turned the game on his head by I know Mark Hoyle was excellent when he came on, but I think JJ Lunny's control of the game was absolutely outstanding. Some of the passes he was pulling off, and you could see everything was going through him. But then it was just the silly mistakes at the back, falling asleep. Shels should have, in all honesty, equalised anyway. I know they didn't create a huge deal for the possession they had, but I think it was a highlight of how good Shels can be when they want to be, if they can go and dominate Qarabağ for what it was. For the 45 minutes of the second half, I'd say it was probably a good 40 minutes of it was just pure Shels domination. And then the 2 goals came in against the run and play, which were the first goal was just, it was just very open at the back. And in the second one, I think Cam Ledwidge just headed over Lorcan Healy, and I think Ledwidge tried to blame Healy for it, but from my eyes, I think that was more of a Ledwidge mistake. But the thing is, they can take the positives that they can go there and say we played them off the park for a decent majority of the game. With new signings coming in, I know they won't be playing in tonight's game, but they've a lot to take from it in a positive sense, but then they do have the negative thinking, what if we would have approached the game in probably a more positive mind frame, or we would have got that goal.
To be honest, I don't like. I said it to you off air. I think, bar the first round of the Champions League qualifier, you're really the only hope that a team like Shels has really is to maybe catch a team cold. Shels are well into a league season and a cup season, and you get in Qarabağ. I think that was only their second game, I believe. I can't remember what the stat was when I was watching it, but I think it was like their second game. So Qarabağ were cold, and you'd expect now they'll probably have a couple of other matches in between, and they're going to find it very comfortable over in Azerbaijan. And I think that's just a problem. I think, I know they're league champions, and people say, well, they have to be in the Champions League. But I think maybe for a while, it would be better suited for League of Ireland teams to not go into the Champions League and actually go into the conference and just build up that experience, get that money in, they can go deep. They would actually probably learn more, benefit more going deep into a conference than going out in the second round.
Wait. You don't mean, just so people don't get confused, you don't mean starting the Conference League qualifiers. You mean don't qualify for the Champions League direct. You mean they still go on the route they're going, for example, that they won the first round in Champions League, which guarantees them at least a Conference League playoff, not starting the first round of the Conference League, what Sips Pats are doing. We have to play 4 rounds of Conference League qualifiers, which you still, if you lose one tie, you're gone. Like, is that what you mean? You don't mean starting why would you start in the Conference League qualifiers?
No, but it's just, I think probably qualify automatically for the Conference League, I think would be.
Yeah, but there's no way you can't, you need to have a certain level of coefficient, like, to qualify automatically. Like, so Ireland's quite a bit off that. Like, that's you'd have to be quite very high in the coefficients to qualify automatically. Like, Azerbaijan is quite high, and they have to start in the Champions League second round.
Yeah, no, I get that, but it's just I just don't. I just think.
I do think, Dave, though. I do think if Shamrock Rovers were playing them last Wednesday, Shamrock Rovers would have beat them. I don't, with their European experience and the quality they have all over the park, I think they would have beat. Qarabağ. I think Shamrock Rovers are that good, and they're just getting better. We'll talk about Shamrock Rovers, their performance on Thursday night. Shamrock Rovers they are a serious side, and they have that European experience. They went to Vienna last year and drew with Rapid Vienna, who would be a better side than Qarabağ. They showed class in every single round played. Yeah, so I think they actually would have. I think if Rovers had played them last Thursday, or was it Wednesday night, they would have beat them.
Well, that's interesting. 2 controversial comments there. One from me and one from Conor.
I can't believe you said. You'd rather start. You need to start in this because the money wise, the money they would have made.
I know. No, I get that. I think I don't think I've made it very well. The point I'm trying to make. Sorry, I think I expressed it better the other day. I just don't think they get a lot. Like, I don't think an Irish team. I don't really know how you go around it, but I don't think an Irish team will get a lot. You going out in the second round, getting a bit of a hiding.
The thing is, they're guaranteed because they got that victory over Linfield, they're guaranteed at least a Conference League playoff. Rather, if they'd started in the Conference League, you could, because the reality is you can get, like, Pats are getting. It looks like they're going to play Besiktas next in the next round, and like that's going to be an awful tie, like to try and get past, and like that's the sort of thing you can get drawn into if you start in the first round of the Conference League. Whilst if you start in the Champions League, you have the little bit of safety that if you lose, you move down to the Europa League, or if the first round. Yeah, so fair. I think it's a great thing to start off. And I know you're saying, I think if Chelsea is qualified for the Champions League, I think it might have been, whilst it would have been good financially, it might have been a bit of a nightmare. You would have got a couple of very bad hidings, but in terms of, it's a good thing to start off on and then test yourself. And then if you lose a tie, you move down.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Like, it'd be great if an Irish team went straight to the group stage or the league stage, isn't it? The Champions League. That'd be fantastic. That's just not going to happen. Not for a while anyway. To qualify automatically for that. Anyway, we'll move. Well, best luck to Shels, but I think that will be the end of the.
But they're going to win. They're going to win 4-3 tonight.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Sure.
But the thing is, they're playing a dead rubber tonight, so I'll still be watching. But it'll be hopefully that they don't. Hopefully they treat it like a competitive game and don't just roll over.
No, give a good account of themselves. Next up, Rovers against St. Joseph's, is it?
Yep. Who Shels played last year.
Yeah, and they gave him a right out hiding over in Gibraltar. 4-0 there. Comfortable victory there for Rovers. Certainly the next round of the Conference League.
Are you sure? You sure St. Joseph's won't come back and tell her?
What, 5-0?
Yeah, Gibraltar. You know how good Gibraltar football. No, but yeah, I think just on with Shels and comparing Rovers, Shels played them last year. First leg they played them in Talca, only beat them 1-0, and then they went and drew 1-1 with them in Gibraltar. So I think it shows the level that Rovers are at. That people say, "Oh, Gibraltar, they can be a tricky tie." Some of these teams from Gibraltar, and Shamrock Rovers just went and just made very light work of them. They on an awful AstroTurf pitch they were playing on in a horrible little stadium that they play in. No disrespect to anyone in Gibraltar. They went and just made complete light work on them. It was an excellent performance from Stephen Bradley's men. The tie was done at halftime, I think. Even when the first goal really went in, it would settle any sense of, this could be a tricky tie. And then they've just shown their levels because that team just has so much firepower. Whether it's on the bench, starting, seeing Jack Byrne didn't even start. He came on and scored a world-class goal. John McGovern is starting to score for them. So he scored in the friendly at the weekend and he got his first goal for them. And Rory Gaffney's goal was a gorgeous finish. So I think Rovers are really, really kicking into gear and it's a great time to kick into gear. And they're going to be, it looks like I've seen the projected pots for the last round of Conference League. And it looks like that because they play the next round, they're going to be playing a team from Kosovo or Malta, which is a very favourable tie. And then they'll be into the playoff round, which is they'll be seeded for, which is looking very likely. So which is going to be huge for them, that if you're seeded going into the last round, it gives you so much easier of a tie, or the chances of getting an easier tie are a lot higher. So would be great. And I think they're the Rovers type of team. I'd kind of back them against most teams in Europe. Even though it was a Karabag, I think I'd fancy them because of what they've achieved their last couple of years and the quality they have, especially in depth. That if you lose a player,
would you fancy against Liverpool? Would you?
Yeah, obviously they're crap.
Terrible team.
Yeah, they're crap. But yeah, it's great to see, and hopefully we might have two teams in Europe this season. But I think it's a great look for the league that we have. I know where people are like, oh, Rovers are the Bayern Munich of the league, or the Celtic in the league, run away with the league, or PSG, but it's not at that stage yet. Anyway, there is still this competition, and hopefully, they can get another victory on Thursday, boost the coefficient by that a little bit more, and then move on to the next round and then make comfortable viewing of that.
Absolutely. And of course, next up, Pats, 1-0 winners. And of course, they're playing again this week. So Pats 1-0 win in Richmond Park. They motor on.
Pronounce that name.
Cajul, is it?
I don't know. I think it's Calju. I don't know. I think it's Calju. I think that's what they were saying on the commentary last week. I don't even know myself. I just wanted to hear what you would say.
Wanted to learn, did you?
Yeah, I wanted to hear from your glorious English. But yeah, it was a very strange game. Pats completely dominated Calju, whatever you call them, from Estonia. It was their goalkeeper for Calju dropped the ball about 5 times in the first 10 minutes when it was coming in from crosses. I think it was just, he got lucky bites that it just came back into his hands. I thought Pats played some very nice stuff. It's so much better than the Estonian crowd. It was ridiculous. There was no real match, or there was no real, at least with the Lithuanian side last week. Did a couple of players that were like hitting you on, there was a Brazil, I can't remember the Brazilian last name, that would hit you on the break, and you'd worry maybe if you give him half a chance he might take it. But these lads just seemed to show absolutely nothing. And I think they didn't have any shots until late into the second half. Then they got the 2 red cards, which were just madness. Well, it's, just two second yellows, which usually doesn't happen. Usually, if lads go down to 9 men, you think, oh, it'll be 2 straight reds or something. But it was 2 second yellows. They actually performed. I thought they were better defensively when they went down to 9 men. But a lot of teams, you see that happen when teams go down to 10 or 9 men, that they suddenly come to life and they put everything in. And, lads are putting in shifts that you never thought was possible. And, yeah, but come at Chris Forrester with the 98-minute winner, which was badly needed, because you don't want to go away there with the tie level, and gives them even more hope, because the thing is, they're still in the tie with 1-0, and I know we all expect Pats probably still have enough to get through, but going in there with 0-0 and them lads thinking, oh yeah, we had 9 men and we still managed to get a draw of the game. But yeah, Pats played nice stuff. They were so much on top. God knows how they only won 1-0. I think that'll be the only disappointing thing for them. But the main thing is they got their win. Chris Forrester stepped up and they got the goal. It was a lovely goal. The composure in front of the ball roll. The goalkeeper was outstanding. And yeah, that should be the key goal, I think, in the tie, because if that goal didn't go in, I think would be real worry heading into tomorrow's game. But I think that goal will, like last week, that one goal will set them off, that the game will be more open in Estonia like it was in Lithuania, and they can push forward and hopefully win the tie in the second. Well, hopefully win the second leg, not just win the tie.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a look at some of the results now from the domestic. So Cork City imploding in Turner's Cross. They're losing 2-3 to Liger Rovers. Derry City 1-1 draw with Bohemians, more on that. And Galway United losing 4-2 at home to Waterford. Cork City, absolute mess right now, aren't they? Absolute mess at the moment, aren't they, Cork City?
Yeah, they're gone. They're simply gone already. Was there 11 games left, is it? And they're gone. That game at the weekend, 2-0 up. It was obviously against second bottom, so it would have been the way we beat them at home. It'll put us back in the chance of staying up and puts a bit of pressure on Sligo. But going 2-0 up, you think, oh yeah, that's all well and good, and then just completely imploding. I'm not surprised imploded, to be honest with you, Dave. It's no shock that they lost that game, to be honest, in the end. I don't think anyone is shocked to a Cork at the moment. It just seems to be so toxic of an environment for players, for staff, for fans to be involved with. So yeah, I think that's Cork done for another year, and they'll be back to the first division, and I'm sure they'll run away with that again next season to come back up. And then you just hope that when they come back up again, that they're more stable on and off the pitch, and that they can win the game. And even more gutting is the fact that Cathal O'Sullivan done his ACL again, and had to come off after 20 minutes. It looked like an awful tackle anyway. It looked like there was something bad had happened, but it's just shocking for a lad that age, especially when he's meant to be going to England at the end of the season. And it seems like Crystal Palace was his destination, and I just really hope that that's not affecting the move at the end of the season, that whether it's Palace, even if they decide, oh, we're not going to sign him with the ACL injury, or another English Premier League club will want to come in and sign him, because it's just devastating for him, like, and at such a crucial time of his development, you just do not want things like this happen. Hopefully he can bounce back from it.
No, best of luck to him. Like, I do feel dreadful for him. Yeah, Cork a mess, 11 points adrift now at the bottom. That was some real 6-pointers, 3 6-pointers really, in the table. Of course, the next one, oh God, I keep pressing that one. The next one, of course, Derry City 1-1 draw with Bohs. Another 6-pointer. Bohs really needed to win that one to stay in touch with Shamrock Rovers. But I suppose the real drama was what happened off the pitch with, Derry City fans attacking Bohs fans with what looked like a rocket launcher.
Someone thought they were playing Fortnite.
Yeah, quite incredible scenes there. I think it's been a bad. I think the league is starting to, as it's gone on a little bit, I think it's starting to eat itself a little bit. You're starting to see it. It's exposing itself, but not in a good way. There's good exposure. There's a lot of good work there, and full houses. That's brilliant. But in other ways, in systematic ways, with facilities, with policing, all these things that you need for a good family orientated product that the League of Ireland is trying to display, to propose to get people in, get keep the interest growing, get investment, that kind of thing. And I think it's been very bad. I think this is just another case here. I know it's up in Northern Ireland, I suppose, so it's the PSNI, but they can't. Where were they? The policing was poor there. You've had issues with crowds throughout the season as well. This isn't the first time you're starting to have this sort of hooligan element. I don't know. There's like stories that apparently a bunch of Bohs fans went in looking for a bit of trouble and then found it. That's what I've heard of why this happened. And then I heard from when it happened that basically the Derry City fans were getting on great with Bohs, and all of a sudden these projectiles, these pyrotechnics start getting fired in at Bohs fans, and you think, what's going on? Like, indiscriminately just firing it into a group of people. There's like women, children there. Like, I don't understand it. But I just think as the league's gone on a bit, it's been quite poor. You had the fiasco with Drogheda. You've had issues with grounds. You've had, the top goal scorer going off to the League of Cambodia. It's just I think it's been badly exposed. I think it's been badly exposed in certain areas, in key areas, to be honest with you. And I think it's just it's not great. This is not what you really want. And I'm sorry to cut you off there. You do not want a hooligan element in football week in, week out. There's certain fixtures you go, all right, fair enough. That's a tasty fixture. You don't want to see it, but you accept it. But like Derry and Bohs,
it seems to be. Thing is, it's not between. The problem is, it seems to be from people I've spoken about this who've gone up to loads of games at the Brandy well as an away fan. It's not the Derry City fans. It's the problem with it's the non-football fans in Derry who just want to have fights, and that, say for example, you'd go to a match in Derry City, you're fine. You go to the game, you come back to your bus after, your whole bus has been bricked and you can't get back onto your bus, or you're on your bus on your way and then people just start attacking your bus. And it's not people going to the game, it's just locals from Derry who are looking for a fight. And I think it was sort of a Bohs fans thing, is looking for a bit of revenge as such, going into the Bogside on Friday night looking for what
the smartest.
No, I don't think at all. I was thinking of all places, like no matter how many of you turn up, whether it's a few hundred of you, there's not going to be a few thousand. Like, no matter what, you're always going to be outnumbered. People are going to hear, oh, people are attacking us. They're just going to come straight out of the house. That's when the rocket launchers get involved. That's when people start taking out weapons and something with serious.
These lads are used to defending their own turf against bigger and nastier forces than a bunch of Bohs fans.
Yeah, Bohs fans they're stupid enough anyway. But but yeah, I can't believe they try that. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, and I do think something has to be done around match days with fans going up to Derry, because there is still a big fear from a lot of fans, because there's a lot of fans do feel something's going to happen to them no matter what happens. And then, I just, because it's a hard one to say what could the PSNI have done to stop because they know Bogs fans are going to randomly just rock up to the Bogside and try and start fighting. Like, but maybe there should be something in place that all these games, these crowds get police escorts to the ground, that there's not involved, and the buses are parked in places that is such a safe area that they can't be getting bricked and stuff. But I just don't know what you can do.
It's just infrastructure. This is something the league needs to look at. Like, it's where the league gets let down constantly: infrastructure, policing, these sort of things. The grounds aren't really adequate. A lot of the grounds aren't adequate, so they need money, they need investment. That's difficult, because if you don't get, and all these things cost money. Policing costs money. To build a safe area for buses, that kind of thing, that costs money. And the the money, the prize money on offer in the League of Ireland isn't great. So there's a bit of disparity there because the only money you get is by qualifying for Europe. And, Drogheda, we thought we were going to get a nice little boost. We saw what happened there. Shamrock Rovers, yet again, rolling in cash, and they've spent their money wisely. Bohs doing okay. They're thinking outside the box, to be fair to them. And, we have this never-ending redevelopment of Dalymount Park, which is apparently going to happen. And, you've got Shels, okay. They're in Europe this year, going to get a nice bit of prize money, but they need they've got to spend money on a new pitch. They've got to spend money on a new ground. It's just there's so much money required, and if you're having stuff like this happening, week in week out, you're not gonna get investors involved. You're gonna give people, the government, a perfect excuse not to get involved. And I think people just have to realize that. But it's just, I think it's been exposed badly. That's just my take on it. Anyway, there was a game of football as well. Ross Tierney equalising after Deepo Akiemi got it just before the stroke half time for Derry City. But anyway, they remain deadlocked there in second and third, and Rovers sitting nicely on top. And the final result there, of course, Galway United 2, Waterford 4. Galway slipping Conor towards Sligo Rovers ever so slightly, just towards Sligo Rovers there, who are climbing nicely out of relegation.
I did say Sligo are going to catch one of, if not both of them. But yeah, it's a good result, isn't it, for Waterford getting that 4-2 win in even DC Park. I've seen a lot of frustrated Galway fans. Obviously, it was going to be tough after losing Moses Dyer, but they haven't, even when he was there in his last couple of games, they're starting to slip, and they haven't really kicked on. I know they've made a couple of signings. Maybe they might kick on from there, but it's not looking all that great for Galway in terms of avoiding the bottom two. Waterford, that's a big win for them. I know, put them ahead of Pats, isn't it, in the table, and they're still in with a shout of Europe, but I think it shows how close the league actually is, that if you win a couple of games, it puts you in the European races. So, it's just Waterford being Waterford and Galway being Galway. You just don't know who's going to win what week. They're two very unpredictable teams. You don't know if you could think, oh yeah, they're definitely going to win this week, and then they'll end up losing, like when they went away to the Brandywell and got battered. What was it, 7-2, and then all of a sudden they're going to Galway away and getting very good wins like 4-2. So yeah, I don't think it's that either team should panic too much yet, but Galway are starting to get slipped into a battle at the bottom.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the table. See where we are. Shamrock Rovers sitting nicely on top. They're all on 25 points. They've all caught up with each other. 7 points ahead of Bohs. Bohs really, or Derry really needed to win that game on Friday. Bohs then in second on 42. Third, Derry City on 41 points. Drogheda United fourth and 38 points. Shelburne, defending champions, you wouldn't think it, 35 points in fifth. Sixth, Waterford climbing nicely. They're on 33 points. Seventh, Pats on 32 points. A disastrous season so far domestically. Galway United 29 points in eighth. Sligo Rovers still in that relegation promotion playoff position on ninth on 26 points. In Cork City, I think it's over for them. Adrift in 10th on 15 points, 11 points. Drift. Just a little bit of transfer news, Conor, you want to talk about before we look at the fixtures here? This young man here, Milan Bang, is it?
Yeah. This one's caused a lot of controversy. Cork City fans are not happy at all over this fella. I think they're glad he's gone, but they just think he's a bit of a spoofer. They don't like his attitude. Supposedly hasn't trained over the last couple of weeks, saying that he's injured just playing matches, and that been forced his way out of the club. Has the agent supposedly been throwing him out the clubs? I think Pats were interested, Shels are interested. I think it's the funny thing. I think as much as he's probably been a stain for Cork this season. I think he'll suddenly become a model professional once he goes to Shels, and he actually has to compete for a place and whatever. He's got the new club, and he's not. I don't want to say. Well, it is a toxic environment in Cork at the moment. And yeah, so it's an interesting one that Shels have picked him up after his raving reviews in Cork.
Absolutely. And one more as well here. Sean Moore from West Ham, they're signing for Shelburne as well. Bit of business there.
That's a big bit of business. I think it's a great model. Shels seems to be going down. He's getting very talented young players into the club, and whatever way developed them for a couple of years and big money on them, hopefully, because Sean Moore was a big name a couple of years ago when he was at Cliftonville as a 17-year-old, won Young Player of the Year in the Northern Irish League. And then obviously he had the big fiasco of switching from the North to Ireland, and then moved to West Ham. And as talented he is, he hasn't really probably kicked on as much as he wanted to in England, because hasn't really got a sniff of first team involvement with West Ham. And it's a massive move that that Shels have decided, because he's still under contract to West Ham. He was still under contract. They've went and paid a fee to get him into the club, rather than get maybe a loan and then try again next year if his contract expires, if they want to sell him. But yeah, it's a big deal. A very talented winger that's left-footed, probably can play in their system, could probably play as that left wing back, can play as one of them like 2 10s, or play out in the right as well. So it's a massive signing for Shels, and I think the model they're going down at the moment, bringing in very talented young players like Sean Moore, Meepo, and then Jack Henry Fancy he signed last week. So yeah, I'm liking what Shels are doing, and especially because the thing is, as much as it's important for them to qualify for the Conference League group stages, they still need to get top 4 for qualifying again for Europe next season. So they'll need a big squad.
There you go. Right, let's have a look at the fixtures and let's get out of here. This Friday, well, bit of a mixed bag really. On Friday, you got Bohs against Drogheda. That's the big game on Virgin Media 2. You also got Cork City home to Galway United. And then on Saturday, Sligo Rovers host Shelburne. And on Sunday, Waterford host St. Pat's. And later on Sunday, Shamrock Rovers host Derry City. There'll still be a few Bohs fans looking for revenge at that one across the Liffey. Right, we're going to leave it there. Conor, thank you very much. Do join us for the new live on Monday. New season kicking off for us. Big announcement coming tonight as well but that is Wednesday. Big announcement coming with the YouTube channel on Wednesday. So in case you're just whatever day you're watching it, do check it out. Very exciting news. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please do like the video. Head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. And head over to lansdowneroad.ie. That's lansdowneroad.ie for opinion and all that good stuff over there. Anyway, we're out of here. I'm David Dunn. He is Conor McAvoy. This is Lansdowne Roar, the voice of the fans. See you later.